Hey guys, it's Greg. Let me turn this thing down a little bit. I'm just playing around. For now, anyway, I was just playing around with an old antique radio that I was given a few months ago. Tubes, vacuum tubes, everything. It works. It even has a clock on it that works. But right now, there's no antenna on it, so it's going to be hard to tune anything in, especially with something this old. Most people don't realize that. Watch the glow go out of it. Well, it's too late, but this is one of those things that was like an old television set back in the day when you have vacuum tubes. The tubes have to heat up before anything happens, so you turn this thing on. It takes about 30 seconds or so for it to come on. Okay, and I'm sweating. It's hot in here, so if you see me do this, don't worry. No Illuminati signs. Last couple of videos I've talked about the double slit experiment, and since I've put a video clip kind of explaining that in, it's been such a while since I've done that, and most people that when they newly subscribe, they don't go back and watch other people's or the same people's videos, all the way back. So I'm gonna stick that in. Basically, the double slit to me is a good way to see a model, or to model the Mandela effect after. The double slit, scientists still don't understand it. They shoot photons out toward something that has two slits in it, and they expect to get the double slit, the double slit on the back side of these slits, so each particle goes through. But what they found was they act like waves once they're inside the room. If they're in the room, if anybody is observing this, they change back. For some reason they couldn't figure it out, so they even put a camera in, and the camera, somehow these photons knew, they were intelligent enough to know that they were being observed even with a camera, and they decided to put the camera on the back side to see how, after it's made its choice, what would happen. And you'll see in the video. So when I talk about the double slit experiment, this is exactly what I'm talking about. The thing is, with the way it works is, once it's observed, it changes, and it makes its change, and it retroactively backs up to the very beginning, as if that's what it always had intended to be. Yet when it's unobserved, you get a completely different output. So to me, I use the double slit experiment, the delayed observation, and then there's one more that's called a quantum, or the delayed quantum eraser, which allows them to observe and to see a pattern, the way that things work out. If one particle, which has a twin, decides to participate as a wave, the twin acts as a wave as well. If it just acts as a particle, then the twin acts as a particle as well. And you see that in the delayed quantum eraser experiment. But just for the new subscribers or the people that aren't aware of what I'm talking about when I mention that, because to me it's a great way to model the Mandela effect after, because it's something that comes out one way, but yet next thing you know it's changed, and it seems to have always been changed, as if that was what it was from the beginning. So I'll put that in, and I'll come back and we'll talk about it.
In recent years, technology has allowed scientists to perform a fascinating variation of the test. Its results call into question our perception of time itself.
This is like a high-tech version of the double hole experiment. Electrons are being fired toward a barrier with two holes in it. But the scientists can delay their decision about whether to observe the electrons until after they've passed through the holes, but before they hit the screen. It's as though I'm on a baseball field, and there's a baseball being pitched toward the barrier with the holes in it. But my eyes are closed, so it goes through, and it behaves like a wave, but then at the last second before it hits the screen, I open my eyes and decide to observe it.
At that moment, the electrons, in essence, become particles, and seemingly always were particles from the time they left the electron gun.
So it's as though they went back in time to before they went through the holes and decided to go through one or the other, not through both as they would have had they been behaving like waves. That's really crazy.
That's the enigma. That our choice of what experiment to do determines the prior state of the electron. Somehow or other, we've had an influence on it which appears to travel backwards in time.
Okay, so as you can see, it changes once observed. And that's why, like the other night, I was talking about, my daughter mentioned our dog, and I was wondering if it's like the Schrodinger's cat deal, where the cat's either dead or it's alive, and you don't know until you open the box. Once you open the box, it's basically two states in one until observed. And you know, when my daughter asked, I wonder what our dog, my little dog Isabel, is doing while we were at dinner the other night. And I thought, well, if I had one of those little cameras, I could check on her, but would she behave the same way? I mean, it's getting to that point of weirdness now, to where we're starting to think even farther than the Mandela effect. And the Mandela effect was like a clue, to give us a clue to what's really going on. And we're starting to think farther than that now. So, alright guys, have a good one. Be good to everyone else. Oh, good news. Apparently now you can save 15% on your auto insurance through Geico. Bullshit. I have Geico. Don't bother wasting your time. Alright guys, have a good one. Be good to everyone else. Take care.